What do you think? You said there's maybe a fundamental way we need to even look at this differently. This whole end of life, experience, whether it's care in the home or care in a care home. But do we need to think about it differently?
I think we do. Can I broaden the concept to not to end of life, because people think about the last few weeks or months leading up to death. I'm talking about a whole phase of life when we may not be, I have my health and my fitness. I have to think about not only keeping that, but what I would do if I lose it and I become dependent to a greater or lesser extent. And I think how we manage as a society, not just the health service, but including that and social care, and we as family carers for our loved ones, how we think about that approach to caring for people. Because caring for people is about valuing them, and I think we have to rethink how we value our older people. In many societies, and a lot in poorer parts of our own country, there is multi-generational living. A lot of people living in the same premises. Now that's been a problem for the spread of COVID, actually, but at least older people are more integrated into the community. And of course, in the West, we've tended to lose that. Again, I don't want to over-dramatize this, but the phrase "out of sight, out of mind" comes to mind. I know that there is a load of exceptions, and I know of so many people who really care about their elderly parents and grandparents and who go to stupendous efforts and sacrifices to care for them. I am as well a trustee of a charity called Dementia Carers Count, which is just what we do. And we work to support specifically those family carers of people living with dementia. And I know and have worked with people with extraordinary experience and knowledge and understanding of that caring role. So it's a very mixed picture, but I'm talking generally about how as a society we've got to rethink ourselves and support our older people and support our carers as well.
Yeah, again, like when I grew up, almost like our grandma and grandpa were kind of the patriarch and matriarch. We would go there for Christmas, and they were the ones we looked up to. They weren't like an also-ran, they weren't in the back room. They were almost the focus, yes. the structure of the family.
Going round to grannies, yes.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And I know my boys now, their grandmother from Bulgaria has come over, and when she's in the house, I'm telling you, everything's better. I actually invited her to stay here, much to the chagrin of my wife sometime. But I'm like, when your mom's here, everything's better. The kids are better, we're better. I mean, there's a reason for having these multi-generation living experiences if you can do it safely. And just to really ask ourselves a hard question, like, how are we showing our appreciation for our elderly people? They have so much wisdom. This Major Tom guy really hit the papers recently, and it showed, I think, Britain, how much we truly value these people that have lived so long and given their lives for our country and can teach us about things in the past that we'll never know about again.
And that richness of memory and experience and the stories that we heard. I remember the stories that I heard as a child way back in the earlier part of the last century. But when you think that someone who turns 80 this year was born in 1940, in the darkest days of the war, and that is the generation that rebuilt this country. And now how are we repaying that?